Live-action remakes of animated shows are on the rise recently. Lion King started the movement in 2019, and other popular pieces like Avatar: The Last Airbender and Cowboy Bebop have followed suit. A lot of people don't appreciate their beloved franchises becoming live actions because it signifies one last cash grab before interest for a franchise dies completely. Lion King's a perfect example of that. It's a remake 25 years later to sell more toys to a new generation of kids. As someone who has pretty much no nostalgia for these franchises except for maybe Avatar, I have a few different problems. But let's look back at the source. It all started on a fateful day in 2010 when big man M. Night Shyamalan dropped the new movie version of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I don't even have to tell you that it's shit. Avatar: The Last Airbender is one of the best stories ever told in TV, and easily my favorite cartoon. A lot of people feel the same way. So using almost none of the story aspects from the show and writing some truly terrible dialogue,
My name is Ong, and I'm the Avatar.
is not going to help your case when you're trying to convince those fans to accept your new movie. The Avatar movie is a success on only one level. It united a lot of people in hatred. It lost money domestically and has a 4 on IMDb. I have never seen a movie that low. Pixels is a 5.6 out of 10, okay? It's bad. June 30th, 2010 is like 9/11 for studios who create live action adaptations. I think that live actions can be pretty good in some respects, but they do have a lot of problems. In terms of anime adaptation specifically, voice acting should change a lot from anime to a live action show. The problem is that more often than not it doesn't. Voice acting in animated shows is exaggerated on purpose to reflect that animation can be anything. Anime specifically is the most exaggerated form of animation besides maybe like Spider-Verse. I mean, look at how many lens flares they put on this Demon Slayer fight. Real life has limitations, unlike animation, and the voice acting should change to reflect that. This is the same problem that dubbed anime has, but that's another video for another day. Another problem I feel live actions have is that they don't really take inspiration from the original work. Usually anime is more popular than manga, and a Netflix show is going to be more popular with a Western audience than most anime. What this means is that people making an adaptation will look towards the anime as the source instead of the manga, when in reality anime cuts out a lot of important stuff from the manga to fit episode limits while still telling the full story. The Berserk anime is pretty widely viewed as dog shit, especially the 2017 version. This is some Attack on Titan CGI horse type animation. It's just terrible. Meanwhile, the original source material is widely regarded to be one of the best mangas of all time. Berserk is an example where they took way too much creative liberty, which leads me to my next point, creative liberty. Oh my god, it segues. Because of the mistakes of the Avatar movie, most directors are too scared to take creative liberties with an already established IP. Making an adaptation brings a lot of new viewers to anything, but for popular pieces that are getting adapted, they have a lot of devoted fans that the producers need to win over. If they made like a Harry Potter dating simulator, it's important to win over people who have been enjoying the series for years to bring new viewers to the show. They might be a minority, but they're extremely vocal. Like seriously, how can you enjoy Harry Potter this much? Anyway, The Boys is a fantastic example of this. The comic books are an edgelord's dream. It's basically 4 guys running around in trench coats killing people, and the end is US military propaganda. The show has done a great job of turning Deranged Manifesto into one of the best shows that's currently being produced. It's crazy that they were able to make it work. The deep pockets of Amazon definitely help, but it doesn't seem like a faraway goal for any production company. In general though, I actually think that live action adaptations are a good thing. Even if it turns out to be a bad quality, it only serves as a traffic source for the original show or manga. Animes like The Promised Neverland could even be good as live action. If they don't use goofy costumes to look like the characters from the anime, it'll be good. The hidden camera work could translate really well, and if they manage to get some good actors, and like actually good actors, not just based on names, it would turn out really well. But in general, the worst part for the company that's adapting something is that there are a lot of fans of the original who just won't like it, because it's not what they remember. They want the sanctity of their hobby to stay intact. Cowboy Bebop, for example, is old. Like older than me. There are a lot of people who have been fans of it for a really long time. Maybe it was the first anime they ever saw and it got them into it. So they look at the show in that time in their life with rose-tinted glasses. People like that see an adaptation as a punch in the face to everything they like about their favorite show. And because it's so vocal about it, it turns off people from checking it out. Cowboy Bebop specifically spent just 12 days in the Netflix top 10. When it fell down, its accessibility to people who are unfamiliar with the franchise dropped to almost 0. Discoverability is another huge problem with adaptations. The truth is, a lot of people, myself included, are just fucking haters. They want to be involved with the trends, and if not liking something is trendy, why wouldn't they join in on that? For a couple days, everybody shits on live action adaptations. It happened with Lion King, and it'll happen with Avatar when that comes out. Everybody who uses Twitter regularly knows that there's only like 10 tweets that get tweeted every single day from the same accounts, and they always get like 100,000 likes, so any break from that for these big accounts helps them a lot. Every tweet was thirsting for that one girl, or just generally talking about it. Then they went back to, why was there always a bite taken out of one of these with like 6 cry laughing emojis? Anyway, I ended up checking out Cowboy Bebop to see how the live action compares to the anime. But before that, this video is sponsored by me. Sorry for no videos recently. I've been watching Practical Joker's Funny Moment compilations. I'm currently on part 15, but if you want to catch all my videos, you should subscribe to me. I've been making a ton of them recently, and if you like my anime videos, I got a playlist on the top right now that you should go watch. They're pretty good. And if you feel extra motivated, I have a Patreon where you can see all my videos early, including extra stuff. Anyway, despite intense recommendations from my friends, I have never watched Cowboy Bebop. It's really popular and old, so it seems fitting to make it a live action series to bring some new fans in and get some good, cold, hard cash. I watched episode 1 from both the live action and the the anime. Here's what they compare. First, the anime. Spike is a bounty hunter who has absolutely no cash whatsoever. He and his friend Jet eat bell peppers and chase people for money. Pretty simple, and it maintains through both shows. I've never watched a show made before like 2010, so I was surprised by how smooth the action is. Spike is so nimble, agile perhaps, where it differs from the live action is that the first episode tells a self-contained story. Spike chases these people, they die. They're no longer involved in the story. Personally, I like this because I'm only going to watch one episode, but if the rest of the show is like that, I can see that it could become annoying. It still sets up the show pretty well by introducing the main player and setting up a pretty intense scene of what life is really like for these people. It sets up the red-eye drug as a bigger threat than in the live action, but it keeps the syndicate really mysterious for some reason. It doesn't even address them. Generally, in animation, you can get away with a lot more rough edges because it doesn't look as goofy as if a real guy teleports across the screen with no explanation. I'd give episode 1 of Cowboy Bebop a strong 8 out of 10. Now the live action. I briefly touched on this before, but I hate bringing actors in for name value. It's cool for a second, it's like, oh yeah, that's the guy from Harold and Kumar, but then it fades away and you think to yourself, why the fuck is this guy playing Spike? Again, you look at a show like The Boys, when Anthony Starr, the actor for Homelander, is so good that he changed the vision for the show. In Cowboy Bebop, they're adhering so strictly to the anime, there's no wiggle room to change around an actor's strengths and weaknesses. The show makes Spike seem more like a Robin Hood figure who takes from the rich and gives to himself, which seems pretty similar to the anime. The action is once again smooth, it does a good job of making it seem cartoonish but still grounded in reality, and that people are actually dying and the actions have consequences. Some of the effects look really bad, you just can't get away with the same stuff you can get away with in animation in real life. Getting sucked out of the building looked terrible, but that's the only thing I can put in because I don't want this video to get copyrighted. The story starts off at a different point but ends off at the same place as the first episode of the anime. I thought the additional story was cool and that doing more of that would create something that fans of the original would like. After that, it's unfortunately just like a scene for scene replica, but the POV action from Asimov takes advantage of live action as a medium, which is really cool to see. It does, however, suffer from the Marvel effect, meaning that it wants to be funny so bad and the jokes just don't hit. Faye gets locked in a bathroom, oh my god, it's so wacky and fun. Overall though, I thought it was pretty good. Not quite as good as the anime because the ending doesn't hit as hard, but I'd still give it a nice 7 out of 10. The moral of this video is that live action shows are not the future and companies are getting scared from adapting things to live action. Some do it well, The Boys and some Marvel movies are really good and encourage companies to make more live action pieces, but they're not easy to make. You can't just copy and paste the anime or the original work. It doesn't work like that. And as more directors figure out that it's not easy and you actually have to make good additions to the story, there's going to be a lot more filter for what does and doesn't get made. While I hope that the Avatar live action show turns out well, we've been burned so many times in live action versions of beloved series. The show has everything working against it. Avatar Studios left to make their own movies, and it's being made by Netflix. There's no real confirmed info about it yet. I just hope it turns out well. It's a great story, and as long as they don't change too much, it'll be great. The moral of the story is that Marvel sucks. Like and subscribe.